morning. For those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in Johannesburg, South Africa. I often get questions about growing up there. What was it like? What language did you speak? Did you see lots of lions and tigers? First and foremost, there are no tigers in South Africa. Lions, cheetah, leopards, yes. Some smaller cats, yes, but no tigers. If you see a tiger, you're either in India, Siberia, or the zoo. If you're in South Africa and you see a large striped animal, it's a zebra. Growing up in South Africa, some things were very much the same as growing up is for you guys here. I went to school, played sports, went to friends' houses, went to parties, went to the movies. But many things were also very different. Like being able to go on family vacations in the bush, what you would call a safari. My favorite memory of being on such a trip was when I was about 9 or 10. My mom, dad, two of my sisters and I were in the Kruger National Park, driving from one camp to another. We pulled into a lookout spot that was right above this dry riverbed. On the far side of the river, there was a small herd of elephant. My dad stopped the car and turned off the engine. You're supposed to be as quiet as possible when you're looking at animals in the parks, so you don't disturb them. We couldn't see over the brush in front of us, so all 5 of us decided to stand up through the sunroof of the car to get a better vantage point. You're absolutely not allowed to exit your car in the parks. Remember the lions and the cheetahs? So we're all squished up through the sunroof, when suddenly there is an ear-splitting trumpet as a massive bull elephant comes smashing his way up through the near side of the riverbank right in front of us. So we all duck back into the car, except my dad, who stays standing up out of the sunroof. Now let me explain. Being only a few feet away from an African bull elephant can truly give you an appreciation for how insignificant a physical specimen we human beings are. I remember him being so close, I could see the wrinkles around his eyes. After a few tense moments, in which I both marveled at the insane bravery of my father and contemplated the short life I was about to say goodbye to, the elephant slowly backed away, flared his ears, and turned as if to say, "What?" and then disappeared down the embankment again. Only at this point did we discover that my father was in fact not the bravest man in the world, but had gotten his belt buckle caught in the seam of the sunroof and was completely stuck. So South Africa gave me wonderful experiences of the wilderness, the beach, African culture, but it also exposed me to the sobering truths of a country not even remotely in harmony with itself. In fact, as I grew older, I came to understand the harsh truths of a country that stood for everything my family and I were opposed to. I'm talking about apartheid. Apartheid is an Afrikaans word that simply means separateness, but stands for man's inhumanity toward man. The government of South Africa made it law that all non-white people were seen as lesser human beings and denied basic human rights, certain human rights as the vote, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, restricted education, little to no land ownership, and more. It was a period of turmoil, unrest, and uncertainty in a country populated by more non-whites than whites at a ratio of around 7-to-1. Facing the realities of my country, a corrupt political system, an escalating crime rate, a declining education system, I decided that after my college, I was going to broaden my horizons and head for America. When I left home, it was one of the hardest things I had ever done. I was heading halfway around the world and leaving behind everything that I was accustomed to and comfortable with. But I was looking forward to the adventure and the possibilities that lay ahead. It wasn't always easy. I was lucky to have some family members already here that were there to help out when I felt the pangs of homesickness and the longing for a sun-drenched climate. Arriving here was definitely something of a transition. Even though I grew up with English as my primary language and watching American TV shows, there were still aspects about the American language and accent that at times could be quite confusing. I remember going into a restaurant soon after I arrived and saying in my thick South African accent, "Can I please have a glass of water?" To which the reply was, "What?" "Can I please have a glass of water?" This time just a shrug. And then the penny dropped. "Can I please have a glass of water?" To which the waiter happily obliged. Another difference was simply one of words. For example, the South African word for traffic light is robot. You can imagine the consternation when I uttered the sentence, "Yeah, I got really lost. I went down to the end of the road and I turned left at the robot." To which the reply was, "There was a robot?" Also, the word for the trunk of a car in South Africa is boot. "Yeah, I'm coming. I just need to stuff my bags in the boot." Why is he stuffing his bags in the boot? I've been in this country now for over 20 years, and what I have learned from the people I've met and the communities I've been a part of have shaped me and allowed me to grow in ways that I never could have imagined had I stayed in South Africa. Different cultures around the world have embraced the concept of leaving home to discover who you are and then return with a greater sense of purpose and understanding of the world. In Australia, the native people have coined the term walkabout, where young people set off into the outback by themselves for an extended period of time and return only when they feel they have truly discovered who they really are and are only considered adults after they return. You can read books and you can watch TV, but I don't believe you can really get an appreciation for a culture unless you physically visit that place and experience it firsthand. Humanity is an interesting word. It has different meanings depending on the context. The definition of humanity is as follows: the condition or quality of being human. Also the quality of being humane, of benevolence, of kindness, and of mercy. In order to demonstrate any of these qualities, we must first acknowledge the uniqueness of different people, cultures, persuasions, nationalities, and orientations. But we must also be cognizant of the fact that we are all, in essence, human, and that the connection between us should far outweigh the differences we are sometimes, unfortunately, programmed to uphold. So what is it that I'm trying to say? Let me put it this way. Leave. Go out into the world and find your place. Search for your passion. We've heard a lot of speeches this year about following your passion and doing something that's meaningful to you rather than what's expected. And they're all absolutely right. Following your passion is the most important thing you can do to ensure your happiness and your self-worth in the world. But what if you have absolutely no idea what that passion is? What if you're not sure who you really are or what it is that makes you truly happy? I think that's okay, as long as you start looking. The search is what's important. My experience has taught me a few things. Don't be afraid to leave your comfort zone. Never stop learning. Never stop traveling. And never stop taking chances. Another is that we are all in this together. Whether you say traffic light or robot, we are all of us human. You guys are the future leaders of this world. Don't you think it's cool you go to a school whose line reads, "Rivers is excellence with humanity"? I do. Thank you.